It's time to tell you guys the truth about why we built the barn. Good morning.
Good morning.
The last video we got our doors hung, so that means we got all the hardware up. It's black. We got to paint that trim board black, but we can't do that till springtime. We have some minor hardware we got to do. We got to do door handles, latches, and like a slide guide down below so the doors don't blow. But I had to order that stuff because none of it came with the rail system. I didn't know if like the track system for below would come with it, but it didn't. So everything's on order. So while all that stuff is on order and we can't finish the doors, but we can still use them. They operate perfectly, slide nice and smooth. They keep the wind out nicely, which also makes it pretty dark in here.
Pretty dark. There we go.
So we need to finish doing our wiring so we can get lights in here on switches. So we got the conduit buried from the workshop to out here. We got the wire ran in the conduit from the workshop out here. We just need to finish running the conduit into the building and put in our breaker box and get everything wired up. So we got to figure out best location for breaker box. I think the way we're going to have to do it is figure out the location for the breaker box. Don't screw it up, but get it in position, run the wire in, and then kind of run the wire through the back of the box and then install the box. We got some pretty big service wire, so it's gonna be kind of stiff. So I wanna come through the back of the service box and not through the bottom or the top because the service box is gonna be protruding out from the wall. So I'll have to come from the back, so it'll just take a little bit of finagling, but we'll get it all. So I kind of have to work that all at the same time. So let's get this box figured out. We also gotta figure out exactly how we're gonna be doing our switches, because I want to have the switches recessed in. I don't want to have them sticking out because I couldn't find big enough gang boxes out of metal for switches, and I'm going to have a bunch of wires coming in that are right under the breaker box, so I don't want to have all the wires coming in the breaker box all exposed. It would look terrible, so we're going to recess in the switches so that way you don't have the wires exposed for that. So let's get this part all figured out, and then we can get some lights in here. So our box is gonna go like right there. So the bottom of it will be here. Now I can figure out where we want our light switches to go. A lot of you guys caught me. I put the bonding screw in the other day. And I just put it in there quickly just so I wouldn't lose it. But you're right, this is a sub panel, so we don't want to bond the sub panel. So I'm gonna take that screw out because we don't need that. But
So why'd it come with it?
because if it's a main panel, we would do that. But we're connecting this to the main panel. You don't want to bond your secondary panel. So I'm gonna have to do this. Maybe I'll mount it lower. Yeah, let's mount it. I'll have to put a 2x going this way to screw this to, because, and then I can drill a hole in that, and then I'm gonna have the main wire come through there. If I have this screwed up high, the feed wire, this 2x4 will be in the way. So if I run a 2x4 going this way, I can drill through it and then run the wire through. So let me remark where we're gonna be. We'll be roughly here. So then the outlets, or the switches will be down here, and then I'll mount some other outlets over here. So let me I wanna get this all figured out, get the outlets in place, put some plywood up to mount everything on. Yeah, so let's get the switches figured out before we do this, because I want to have all the wires running behind, so we don't have all this mess of wires coming out right under the box, trying to feed in an exposed light switch box, if you know what I mean. So we'll recess it in so you don't see all this spider webs of wires. It'll look neater.
The feel in here is so much different having the doors shut. We're only gonna have the doors shut when we're down here right now until we get all the hardware, because we don't want them to blow off, and that would be terrible. But I love it. It's a totally different feel. Like, I like seeing out, but it's also nice not to have the wind and stuff on you. And I do like the inside. I wasn't sure what inside the doors look like. I think they came out great. We did make a pretty good mess in the barn though, on the floor. So I'm gonna do a little sweep and get some of it up, but it's gonna have to wear off, I think.
So we're gonna have 7 light switches. Boom, 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 boom. So we're gonna have one for the back, we're gonna call it the livestock area, one for the milking area, one for the pig pen, one for the chicken coop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one for this main area, that's 5. We're gonna have one switch for this outside light, 6. And then the other switch for the outside light will turn on this light and the other outside light by the livestock area. So that is 7. 17 and a half. 14 and a quarter, 17 and a half. All right. It's gonna be so wild to have lights on outlets out here and power, so we can just plug in and not run extension cords from the workshop. You're gonna be spoiled. Yeeker.
Wow. It's like a seesaw.
Yep, I
Or a
weigh
keto
too
tone.
much. Must be all the winter dieting.
I think it's just because it's on that.
It's so hard to stretch in a onesie. You gotta like stretch with your leg because it's, I can feel it in my booty cheek.
You look like you were trying to swim.
What's that? I was trying to swim, working on my backstroke. I'm working on top of our future chicken coop, believe it or not.
Right now,
Right now it's a
isn't
pile.
much for the chickens to desire.
No, right now it's a pile of lumber. One day it'll be an amazing chicken coop.
Is that what's after electricity?
Yeah, once we get the lights up, we can either do the chicken coop or finish off all the interior walls and then do the chicken coop, one or the other. Those are the last 2 big projects, is chicken coop, finish off the interior walls over there, all the little pieces. I think that's it, and then it'll be move the animals in. That'll be exciting. Blade's a little bent. Let's see if we can straighten it. Yeah, it's got a little kink in it.
A little windy?
A little bit.
What did you do to it, Al?
I think you used it last. Straighter. before I can test fit this and see if it works, let's get the wires for the switches in the box, so that way it's not just like a big old mess of spaghetti over there. And let me know what order you want the switches in. So the way I have it set up right now, let me know if you like it or not. We have front lights, milking room lights, and then I gotta find the other ones. This one is labeled livestock. So then I thought like the next main area we'll be using a lot is the livestock. And then this one is meat pole, that's outside light. This one is livestock and front outside lights. These are the two outside lights. And then one of these was just labeled. This one is labeled pig pen.
So chicken coop, then pig pen.
This must be chicken coop.
Yeah.
And pig pen. So which one do you want next?
Chicken coop, pig pen.
Chicken coop, pig pen.
Because the pig pen might not always have anything in it.
That's what I was thinking. And then we have livestock outside and then meat pole outside.
I think meat pole outside and then livestock outside.
I was just thinking if we did it in this order.
But then you'll know that one's the outside.
Right, this is that way, like for outside light that way, this way. That's in my head.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking that.
Sounds good.
That is some strong plastic. Just want to mark the feed wires so that way later on I remember. This is the one that's going to feed all the switches, and this is the one that's going to feed all the switches in this box. All right, so I'll take out my bonding screw. We don't need that. I like that. We just need to be close for this. Come on. There we go. All right, we're gonna need an LB, some glue, a clamp. Then we need a 2-inch expansion coupler. So we gotta set this right here on this line, which is the midpoint. So this will go on the building. And the reason you want an expansion coupler, so if the building goes up and down with the frost, this can go up and down, and it's not going to pull your pipe out of the ground. So we gotta have this. I'll have to get a small piece of pipe for whatever height we need to connect that to. And then this will come like there, and then we'll figure out where we want to drill our hole. So let me get some glue on. All right, so that actually looks nice and level right there. I like it. It's gonna be noisy. Just an FYI. Perfect. Get it in on the LB. Take a rag. Might as well clean that mess up. If I don't clean it up now, when I go to put it on, it'll run down and make a huge old mess. This is the hard part.
You gotta make it twist.
We gotta bend it. Once we get it in, it'll be fine. It's just getting the initial.
It's cold.
There we go. There we go. Inch at a time. All right, so we got our silicone on. Ew. Okay, so let's do it like that.
Look at all that.
And then this fell down, which is fine. Just like so. And like that, okay. Bam, okay. So everything is nice and siliconed. That is in there nicely.
Push, push, push. Got it.
Sheesh.
Now you just gotta get up underneath and back through.
Right, we gotta go up and boom.
Up and out.
Yep, push it.
I'm getting resistance.
Hold up, I'm on something. Let me see if I can find it. Okay,
You
right
got it.
here. I'm gonna give my electrical spiel again. I am not an electrician. I am just a dude who's wiring up his barn. Don't copy me. Consult a professional. Come on. Sweet.
Nothing happened.
Shoot. Now we got to wire up the outlets for the lights. So for the lights up above, we're gonna put outlets in because all the lights we're gonna have a plug-in. We're gonna do GFCI breakers down here for those. So let's get those all installed. It's time to tell you guys the truth about why we built the barn this year. The original plan wasn't to build the barn this year. I was talking with Ken from Ken's Carpentry in the beginning of summer-ish, and we were working on the timeline for building the workshop. And I said, hey Ken, I wanna build a workshop this year, and then next year I wanna build a barn. And he said, yep, that's all good. He said, except next year, I'm not gonna be doing building anymore. I'm retiring from that. So we can't build the barn next year. And I went, what? I want to build the barn next year. I really enjoy building our buildings with Ken and his crew. It's always fun to have more muscle when you're doing the big building. And I enjoy working with Ken. Me and his guys, we work good together. We have a good time. It's fun. So I was like, oh, I guess we need to build the barn this year too. So we did the workshop, got that all done, and then we were doing the dirt work down here so we could get the barn done. Because the original plan was to get the concrete work in late fall, and then come next year, which would be this spring, we could start building the barn. I figured if we had the concrete all in early spring while it was mud season, we could be working on building the barn, and then we could build it all throughout spring and summer and have it ready for the animals. But that didn't happen. So we changed our timeline, we did the workshop, and now we have the barn. And that's why we're building the barn now, because we wanted to have it done and with the help of Ken and his crew. So that's the truth about why we did the barn. I know a lot of you guys have been asking, and we would tell you why, but we didn't want to put out that Ken was retiring before he announced it. So I'm going to put a link down below. You can go check out Ken's video where he's talking about his next chapter. He's just retiring from building big buildings. He's on to a new chapter of his life. If you guys want to find out what Ken is up to, click the link. I believe by the time this video is out, he's going to have a video with Chad and Dan, because they're up to some new things too. So you can watch that video, see what they're up to, follow along on all of their channels and see what they're doing. But I am glad we got the barn up this year, and the animals will be in here soon. I know a lot of you guys are like, well, your animals aren't going to be in this winter. If we would have done it the way we were originally going to do it, there wouldn't be anything right here for them. The animals have barns over there, which are more than adequate for their needs. That could do what they need to do all the time. Animals don't need to be in a heated barn. This barn's not going to be heated. This is just going to be a place for the animals to come in at night. Like they do over there, we have stalls for them and run-ins that they can get in and out of. That's what this barn will be for. This barn is more for our convenience. We can have all of the animals together in one place. We can have all of our feed stored in one area. We can have a roof. We can do indoor milking, especially when it's raining, because right now we milk out in the field with the milking stand, which works awesome. We'll be using that in the nicer weather. And then we'll be able to do that all in here. We'll be able to have all of our supplies together. And then, yeah, it's just gonna be nice for us to have everything in one area, have the animals all out in one area. We gotta work on our new pasture. So I am excited that we got the barn going early instead of the spring. If you guys want to check and see what Ken is up to, check out the video linked down below. I am excited for Ken and his new chapter. I'm going to keep following along, see what he is doing. It's going to be fun. So go congratulate him. He is in his 70s. Believe it or not, Ken is an awesome worker. I hope when I'm his age, I'm in as good a shape as him. I'm excited to see what Ken's gonna be up to now in this part of his life. So let's continue on with the build. We're gonna put some nice black outlets in. I was gonna go with gray, but for some reason, the gray is like triple the price. White is the cheapest, black is a little bit more money, and then the gray was like $8 an outlet. I don't understand that, but. So
we'll go with black, it will hide the dirt better.
Where do we want to start? Let's go over here. Dope.
Testing out the walls.
It's getting dark in here with all the doors up now.
So right over here, you can see a lot of light exposure. The soffit fell down during that big windstorm because we had decided only to go every other with a nail. Some people don't even put any nails in to hold it. Well, now we're gonna go back, or Al's gonna go back and put a nail in every single one, so that way it doesn't do that again, hopefully.
And then I had to order outlet covers. They had black outlets in stock, but they did not have the covers for them. Kind of weird. All right, next one. I don't know where I got blue electrical tape from, but I have it. Actually, I think it's from when we pulled all of the wires through for our solar panel up at the harvest house, because we had so many different wires and we had to mark each run with what solar panel group they went with.
Yep, that's where it came from.
Yep. So we got a whole bunch of colors.
We have purple, we have orange, we have blue,
we have red, we have white, we have green. Lots of them. Let's go into the pig pen. All right, that's for the light. That one is if we ever need to put water heater in the water, or heater in the water, or if we need a heat lamp out here when we have baby piglets. So let's get that outlet wired up.
I'm not sure how I feel about a big mama pig, because they can be whatever, so that's something you need to know and be aware of. They can be very protective of their babies, but I be excited to have baby piglets. I just love baby piglets. I know they don't stay babies very long, but I think that'll be fun.
I like them when they're about 6 months old.
And bacon?
And bacon. Pig pen's done. We just gotta get the covers when they show up. Coffee break time. All right, this has 2 sets of wires coming to it. These doors just look huge when they're closed. All right, let's continue on. We got a few more outlets to do in the sail one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. All right, before we can do any more wiring, we got to get this area covered up with tin siding. So the only wires that are going to be in the wall are the wires that we already put in. Very nice, sir, very nice. Once it's warm enough, we'll paint this spot gray. I didn't want corrugated metal here because I wanted to have a nice area for all of our switches. And if we had corrugated metal, that wouldn't work as well. So that'll do that. This is where I gotta end the video. We are so close to getting the tin up and getting everything wired up out here. We will do that in the next video. So thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us and our homestead. We'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.